All right, welcome back. Our GMC tweet of the night. This is from Teresa Varley, who works for the Steelers. Mitch Trubisky will start against the Seahawks in a preseason opener Saturday night, followed by Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. All right, we know that, Jeff. I've seen some tweets, and I actually got a tweet right now, and it seems like Steeler fans are a little worried that the Steelers might have picked the wrong quarterback after seeing Malik Willis play today. And I don't know if you saw any of the highlights, but he had a nice deep ball, a touchdown. I know a lot of people are tweeting about it, but I still think that they picked the right quarterback, Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis.
It's really early. And I would say this. You'll probably look over Malik's career and have a lot of wow moments, but there'll probably be far more oh no moments than you would find with Kenny Pickett. And listen, Pickett's only been in the system for a couple of weeks of training camp, and obviously for a couple of months, including the offseason. I'm not ready to give up on him, and I don't know if this was necessarily a competition that he could have won unless he would have been Superman, because I think from the beginning it was Mitch Trubisky's job.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines, the Borders and Borders hotline, and we got Bart out in Braddock. How you doing, Bart?
How's it going?
Good, thanks for calling.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the quarterback situation. So,
okay,
here's what I think. We're going to need as many warm bodies as we got. We're going to need all four quarterbacks with that offensive line that we got.
Hey, Bert, that's a good point. I don't know if it's so much with the offensive line, but, recent memory, what was that, 2018, 19? When was Duck Hodges playing? 2019?
19.
They all kind of run together for me. But anyways, Ben was hurt that year. And you needed two quarterbacks that year. I think you're potentially going to need two quarterbacks this year. So I'm just saying it's the Steelers' MO. Mike Tomlin likes to have another veteran go-to guy quarterback. The Steelers like that. That's why I think they're going to keep Mason Rudolph.
And they could. But I think if the right situation comes along and a team is desperate enough because they really don't like their backup situation, and look at Mason Rudolph as a guy who's played in the league, has been around for a couple of years, a pretty cheap option. I do think that's a possibility, but I agree with your point. I mean, and listen, Bart's point is dead on. As much as we love what we see from George Pickens or Calvin Austin, or excited about Deontay Johnson and a new mentality for Chase Claypool and Pat Freiermuth and Najee Harris, if those five up front aren't better than what we saw last year, little of all of that stuff is going to matter because they're not going to have time or the room or the holes to be able to go to their full potential.
Let's go out to Kirk and Manor. How you doing, Kirk?
Hey, good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Kirk.
Yep. Just a quick question. I personally think Mason Rudolph should be the starter. He should have a shot at it. And I don't think that Kenny Pickett is the answer at quarterback. He would have been a third-round pick.
Kirk, have you been up to camp? Have you watched any of these guys or anything? And why do you think Mason Rudolph is the guy? What has he shown you? Did you like the way he played against Detroit last year?
I like the way he did on 7-on-7 today.
Okay.
Yeah, and Kirk, though, that's 7-on-7. I mean, it's not 11-on-11. It's not full rush. And I think, what concerns the Steelers brass is what they saw, not just in 2019, but maybe the style that he plays and what Matt Canada is going to do may not be a great fit at all. And, you're right from this standpoint. If ball security, and Mike Tomlin mentions that a lot, if that is the number one prerequisite to start for the Steelers, Mason Rudolph has had the best ball security so far this camp. But there's more to it. There's leadership. There's other intangibles that I think Trubisky, in their mind, is ahead of both he and Mason Rudolph. And I think Kenny Pickett will probably close the gap here in the next couple of weeks.
I think in everyone's mind, though, Jeff. I mean, you're right. He was penciled in as the starter the day he signed. But I don't think, even though Mason Rudolph has said numerous times, and he said it again today, I said, what do you need to do here? What do you need? And do you want significant playing time? And he said he wants to make his playing time significant, is what he told me today. So I don't think he's ever been given a fair shot, and I don't think he will be given a fair shot here.
If on KDTV on Saturday night that he throws for 4 touchdowns and is 16 of 17 and is dynamite, then you might have to rethink it. All of this talk, all of the things that we've seen at camp, you have to take with a caveat because it's camp, it's against each other. There are certain factors to play into that. If what these guys do in this game on Saturday is going to weigh much more than what any of us have seen at camp, so that's why I'm kind of excited about Saturday. Let's see. Maybe Mason goes out there and wows them. Maybe he doesn't. But we'll find out on Saturday.
All right, well, I'll throw something at you. I mean, we're talking about Mason Rudolph, but how about Mitch Trubisky? He didn't have Deontay Johnson for the first week. Chase Claypool hasn't practiced. Najee Harris has been out for most of camp. Pat Freiermuth just basically came back. The top 4 weapons on his offense, he hasn't been with.
Yes, and he's had to face the first-team defense. So you factor that in. You say, well, he's had the better line, but he's also had to face the better defense. So how does that equate? And then when you get to this point in camp, I think it's natural for the defense to know the offensive plays. So you start jumping routes, you start knowing what's coming, and I think it gets even more unfair to try to judge what's going on in practice. That's why these games are so important and what these guys do in games. Trubisky, to me, I will say, of the 3, when it's come to 2-minute drills and things that are more football-like, I think he's been the better quarterback of the 3. But, in stadiums, as Mike Tomlin would say, that all could change.
I agree, but I have a feeling that this offense might struggle here out the gate. Let's go out to Mike and Beaver. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Rich. Hey, Jeff. How you guys doing?
Good, thanks for calling.
Hey, Mike.
I think it would be detrimental to Pickett if he has to sit in a third-place position, and if you're trying to give Rudolph a chance, all these chances, you're taking it away from Pickett to learn and play in some of these preseason games. I understand you're trying to bump him up for trade value, if anything, but you're just wasting your time because he has no future here with the Steelers, and I think the Steelers know that.
Well, Mike, everyone knows that. And I just, Tomlin made a point today, but you don't want to throw Kenny Pickett in a bad situation out there either, right? I mean, maybe that's part of the reason why they have him as the third guy.
And we're starting to see now where it's like with the second team, Mason will get a couple snaps, then Kenny will get a couple of snaps. So it's almost like they're both second-team quarterbacks, which would be a jump up from what we've seen from Kenny Pickett. What will Pickett do in this game? And then Pickett's going to be behind a third-string line, but he's facing a third-string defense. That's what makes these evaluations a lot more than just the numbers also that you see on Saturday.
I'd really like to see, hopefully next game in Jacksonville, and we'll be there, hopefully that they flip-flop Rudolph and Kenny Pickett. All right, we got to take a break.
You know what's great?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Real quick, is that you have Charlie Batch in the booth analyzing this because Charlie's been in that position.
Yeah.
I really want to hear what he has to say on Saturday.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm looking forward to it, too. All right, we'll take a break. Back with more of your phone calls coming up next.